scholars, it's Miss Bowie. I'm back. I hope that things are going well at home and that you are safe with your family. I'm going to be posting 5 videos. This is the first of the 5 to help you get through geometry because I know a lot of us had questions and after watching the YouTube videos, you still didn't understand them. So hopefully this review video will help you. Okay, let's get started. Oops, still really big. Okay, so for this video, our objective will be that scholars will be able to understand how angles are measured and how to read protractors. Okay, so all you need is paper, pencil, and your brain. You don't need a protractor for this because I know that it's hard to find one right now. And if we were in the classroom, we would have so many protractors, but we are not there. So we will make do with what we have. Okay. So let's start. So to understand how we measure angles, we kind of have to go back in time a little bit to why they were created. Why do we even have angles? And why is most of geometry there? Well, it all started 4,000 years ago. Actually, a little bit over 4,000. And it started with these people called the Babylonians. They lived in an empire or country called Babylonia. And even though the country doesn't exist anymore, it's in the same place as some of these other countries that you might know. So Babylonia is where a country like Iraq, Syria, Jordan are all located. And that's like a little bit on top and to the right, so northeast of Africa. So if you look on a map, that's where you would find where Babylonia used to be. Well, these people were really similar to the Greeks, and they worshipped like different gods and goddesses, just like how the Greeks like worshipped Zeus and Athena and all of those that you read about. Well, the Babylonians really liked this one god that they would worship, and his name was Marduk. Okay, and so Marduk was this person this god that they just really wanted to like worship, and they had temples for him and stuff. Well, Marduk has a special sacred star, and it's a planet called Jupiter. And so every time Jupiter came around, they knew that Marduk was like watching over them. So to figure out where Jupiter is and when it would come back, they would like figure out all these angles and use geometry to track Jupiter. And so that's what you see right here. In this little like rock tablet, they would like write on, like carve rocks instead of writing on paper. So these are all the different angles that they used to figure out where Jupiter was. Okay, so a little bit more about that. So like, why do we need to know this? Well, to help them track it, they had to come up with a way to explain to another person exactly how big or small an angle is. And so this is where we talk about how we measure it. Well, we can't just say, oh yeah, it's like this big or this big. Like they wanted to say like an actual number so that the person wouldn't get it wrong. Well, what they decided was the Babylonians were going to cut a circle, which they already had. They decided to cut it up into 360 pieces. So like this. Oops. Like this. Okay? So that's where we get that like circle protractor that you might have seen in some of the videos. Well, each little section of this protractor is a part, and there's 360 parts. That's what the Babylonians decided. Well, for us to measure, we don't use a circle protractor. Some people do, but a lot of people instead use something that looks like this on the right. This is half of a circle protractor. So it goes from 0 all the way to 180. And so these numbers here can help the Babylonians and us now figure out exactly how big an angle is. Well, if we figure out how big it is, well, you can't just be like, oh yeah, it's, I don't know, 90. You have to have a unit, right? Just like when you measure with a ruler, you have to say, oh yeah, it's 9 inches or it's 9 centimeters. You have to say what kind of 9 it is. Well, exactly the same here with our protractor. It's a math tool, so if we measure and we get 90, then we have to say what the unit is. And the unit for degrees, or the unit for angles, is degrees. So if we found out that it was 90, then we would say it's 90 degrees. This little symbol, this little circle here, stands for degrees. Okay? Let's see. All right. So let's take a look at the protractor a little closer, because I know for a lot of you, this was probably your first time seeing a protractor, and we didn't get to actually use it in class. So let me erase here, and let's get a bigger picture of our protractor up. So here's a big protractor. There's 3 really important parts. It has 4 labels on here, but there are 3 most important parts of a protractor. So the first thing is the outer scale. So you see that there's 2 rows of numbers. So this row on the outside and then this row on the inside. Well, the outer scale is talking about the outer numbers. So these right here. 0, 10, 20, 30, all the way to 180. And it goes from left to right. Okay? Well, a protractor has 2 different rows. So there's also an inner scale. The inner scale are these inside numbers, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way to 180 as well. But it goes from right to left. Interesting there. And then the last most important part is this center mark right here. That tells you, this part right here, that's telling you that that's where the vertex needs to go. So when you measure, like with an actual protractor in real life, you have to make sure the little vertex where the 2 rays or lines meet, they have to go right here in that circle. Okay? So let's take a look with an actual angle now. So say we have something like this. So I circled our center where the vertex is supposed to go, and here our vertex is point B. Okay? So this angle right here, we see we have 2 rays, AB and BC. They come together at B. Well, to measure an angle with a protractor, there's 3 steps. The first one is that you have to decide if you want to use the outside numbers or you want to use the inside numbers. This is really important because if you mix the numbers up, the answer won't make sense. Okay? It really needs you to stay with one of the 2. So I'm going to do outside. So I'm going to write the word out up here just so I remind myself that I'm doing the outside numbers. So let's look at AB right here, over here. So AB, the ray goes all the way up and then it crosses at this point right here because I'm using the outside numbers. Let me erase a little bit so we can see what that number is. Well, this number is 30. So I'm going to write the angle right next to A so I don't forget it. Then I have to go to the other side. I'm going to use a different color to BC and see where that line goes through. It goes right here. It's not quite on 150 and it's not quite on 160. It's right in the middle. So I would count just like a number line. 151, 152, 153, 154, 155. And then what's the unit again? Because we can't forget it. It is 155 degrees. Okay, so now we did 1 and we wrote both angles down. So our third step to measuring our angle is to subtract the 2 angles that we just figured out. So we have 155 and 30. When we subtract, the bigger angle goes on top. 155 minus 30. 5 minus 1, or 5 minus 0 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 1 minus the 0 that's supposed to be there is 1. That means 125 degrees is how big our angle is. So the way we write this is angle A, B, C, so using all points A, B, C, is equal to 125, not just by itself, we have to put the unit, 125 degrees. See that? Okay. All right, let's try a couple more together. Let me clear our board here. Let's go to the next one. All right, so now we have a clean protractor. I'm going to put some new rays onto our protractor, and then we're going to measure them using our 3 steps, okay? So our first ray is going to go from the center all the way to here. All right, and I'm going to label our vertex B again, and our point over here A. Okay, and then the other one goes past here. Oops. So we have 2 new rays. And I'll label that C. Okay. So the first thing we gotta do, once again, is decide. Are we gonna use the inside numbers or the outside numbers? And so we used outside last time, so I'm gonna use inside this time. So I'll use in. And I'm gonna write in, just so I don't forget. The whole point of writing it is so you don't forget. Okay, inside. So if I'm looking inside, our ray BC goes all the way up here, and then it hits right here on that number. And we can see that that number is in the middle of 120 and 140, so it has to be 130 degrees. Don't forget the unit. Good. Using the inside numbers, okay? Now I'm going to find the inside number for the other ray, all the way up here, and it hits right in the middle of 160 and 170. What's in the middle of 160 and 170? Well, 160, magic middle number, 5 degrees. Okay, so we did 1, we did 2, we wrote both the angles down. Now we have to subtract. 165 degrees subtracted by 130 degrees. 5 minus 0 ones is 5. 6 minus 3 tens is 3. 1 minus 100 is 0. Not 100. 35 what? 35 degrees. Good. So now we can write it as a complete sentence with our number. We can say that angle A, B, C is equal to 35 degrees. Just like that. Okay? Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause me. We're going to do one more together, and then you're going to get a question to do by yourself, okay? So what we're doing right now is we are measuring the angle to find the exact degrees using a protractor. That's this half circle looking thing. Okay? So here we go. Last one we do together before you do it by yourself. Okay. I am going to draw our first ray. It starts at the center and it's going to go right there. And then the second ray will go right. Oops. There. And then I'll label it E, F, D this time. So different points. All right. Let's do it together one last time. We're going to decide outside or inside. Let's just go inside again. So I'm going to put in, write the numbers for in. Okay. Let's do one of the rays to figure it out. Let's do ED. ED goes boop, 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 boop. And we're going to circle the inside number. All right, it goes right through that number, which is not 100 or 120. It's right in the middle, so 110 degrees. Okay, so now let's go to EF. Follow the line. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. It goes right through this inside number, which is 0, 10, 20 degrees. Okay? Did the first two steps. What are we going to do now? Think, 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 think. What's number 3? It tells us that we need to subtract. Bigger angle goes on top, 110 degrees. Subtracted by 20 degrees is, ones place is a 0. Tens place, can we do that? Borrow from the hundreds. Now our tens place has 10 more, which makes 11. 11 minus 2 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9. That makes how many degrees? 90 degrees. So this time when we write our sentence, we're going to say angle, not ABC anymore because we have new points. It's angle DEF is equal to 90, I hope you said degrees. Okay, then we'll box our answer. All right, you ready for your solo? Here we go. Let me erase. The steps will still be there for you, so make sure you follow them. Right here. Here's your solo. Okay, so we have the same points, D, E, and F here. Okay, here are your 3 steps. Decide if you're going to use the outside numbers or inside numbers. Write it, and then write both angles. Where does this ray go through? Where does this ray go through? Subtract them, and then write out your sentence. Okay? Just like we've been practicing with the last 3. I'm not giving you a timer, remember, so you're just going to pause the video, and then once you're finished figuring it out, unpause it, and then come back. All right? Pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, so hopefully you paused and you finished it, and now you're ready to check your answer. Okay, so because the last one I solved with the inside numbers, I'm going to choose outside. Okay, so I'm going to use the outside numbers. So I'm going to write out, and now I'm going to see where do these lines cross? Where do these rays pass by? So DE, following it, following it, following it. Oh wait, got to think. Which number? Outside or inside? Oh, it says outside. Okay, so right here. It's right in the middle of 30 and 40. I'm going to count 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 degrees. Don't forget to write it. Okay, thumbs up if you got it. Hope you did. Okay, our next one, EF, following it, following it, following it, checking. We need the outside number, so I'm not going to circle the 80. I'm going to circle the 100, and I'm going to write 100 degrees. I did step 1 and step 2. Now time to subtract the angles. 100 goes on top, 100 degrees, subtracted by 35 degrees. Looking at it, we know that we need to regroup. Can't take from the tens, so we got to regroup from the hundreds. That becomes a 0. The 0 in the middle becomes a 9, and the ones place becomes a 10. 10 minus 5, 5. 9 minus 3, 6. And 0. 65 degrees. All right. Hopefully you got that, and you would have written angle DEF equals 95 degrees. Okay? I'm going to real quick on the right side, I'll do the inside numbers. Just in case you did that, you would have picked the numbers 145 degrees and the number 80. Those two measurements. And you would have gotten, hopefully, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, the same answer. Okay? You see that? Oops, I'm in the way. Let me move myself. So see, if you use outside numbers, you'll have 100 minus 35 degrees makes 65. If you use the inside numbers, 145 degrees minus 80 degrees is still 65 degrees. So no matter what, your answer is going to be the same. Okay? Did you get it? If you did, yay! You're confetti. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you. Okay. That's basically all you need to know to measure angles with a protractor. Just 3 simple steps. If you didn't write those steps down in your notebook where you keep all your notes, I would definitely do that so that next time when you have to measure angles again, you have those steps. We have a little bit more in our lesson because now that we know exactly how much our angles are in degrees, we are going to name them. And we already know the names. So we're going to match them with the names that we already know. So let me erase here. And let's do a quick review. We know 4 different types of angles. We know what right angles are. Those are our perfect corners. We know what straight angles are. Those are our perfect lines. And then we know what acute angles are and obtuse angles. So now that we know how to measure angles and find an exact number, I'm going to give you the exact number for some of these angles. Okay? So right angles, when you measure a right angle with a protractor, it is always going to be 90 degrees. Always. It's never going to change. It's not going to be 89. It's not going to be 91. It's not going to be 190. 90 degrees only. Okay? This is something you want to memorize because later on when you do more geometry, they're going to need you to remember it. Straight angles, so straight lines, same thing. Always going to be 180 degrees. It will never change. Okay? So another thing that you should probably put in your notes because it's never going to change. Acute angles, remember, they're less than a right angle, so acute angles have to be less than 90 degrees. So an acute angle would be like 60 degrees, 22 degrees, 89 degrees, okay? It cannot be 90 though. 90 is a right angle, okay? And then our obtuse angle is probably the hardest one. It is less than 180 degrees, but more than 90 degrees. Okay, so that's something you have to remember. More than 90, but less than 180. So right in the middle. So 91 all the way to 179. Okay? All right. If you need to, pause the video, write these down, because you'll need them for our next practice. Here we go. Okay. We're only going to do one together because we pretty much already know everything, and now we're just going to add one extra step at the end. So here we go. We have our angle. Our angle is DEF or FED. You can go either way. Let's decide, outside or inside. I personally like outside, so I'm going to choose outside because outside has a little tiny tick marks, and it's way easier to count. So here we go. ED following, using the outside number, it's on the number 10. EF, Ray EF, going, not going to use this inside number. I'm going to use the outside number, which is 110. Okay, I wrote both angles. Oh, I forgot to write out. And then I'm going to subtract 110 degrees minus 10 degrees. Nice and easy math here. 0, 0, 1 degrees. 100 degrees. Okay? So now, the extra step that we're going to do is we're going to put the name for this degree. So angle DEF is equal to 100 degrees. It is a... All right, now we got to think. Is it a right angle? No. Right? Because right angle is 90. Is it a straight angle? No, because that's 180 degrees. Is it an acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees? Is 100 less than 90? No. And then is it an obtuse angle? It has to be less than 180 degrees, but more than 90 degrees. So let's think. Is 100 less than 180 degrees? Yes. Is 100 more than 90 degrees? Yes. So this is an obtuse angle, period. Box our answer. There we go. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Okay. Time for you to do some more practice, and then that'll be the end of our lesson. So let me erase this and open this up here. Okay, here we go. Here it is. I'm going to draw you the rays, and then you're going to pause, and then you're going to solve it, and then I'll solve it on the screen so that you can check your answer. Okay? So here's our first one. So that's ray AB. Just made a mess over here. And then let me draw my third point so we can make an angle here. All right, it's a close one. It is 2 tick marks past the 10. So I want you to figure out what that means, okay? And this is point C. All right, pause. Pause to solve it. Make sure you solve to figure out what the measurement number of the angle is, so how many degrees, and don't forget to figure out if it is straight, a right angle, an acute angle, or an obtuse angle. I'll put that over here. Acute, right, straight, or obtuse. Which one is it? Okay? Pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. Just figure it out. Okay, I'm going to solve it now, so hopefully you paused. I'm going to do the same thing, following the steps. Okay, I'm going to do outside. So I'm going to write out. Here we go. Following B to A, we know it's on the very bottom one, which using the outside number is 0 degrees. And then following BC all the way over here, I'm not going to look at this inside number. I want the outside number. So 2 tick marks away from 10 is 11, 12 degrees. Hopefully you got something close to 12. I know it's hard for you because it's on the screen. Okay? So 12 degrees and 0 degrees. We did both steps 1 and 2. Now we have to subtract. 12 degrees minus 0 degrees equals 12 degrees. Okay, so now angle ABC is equal to 12 degrees, which is not a right, not a straight, not an obtuse. It is an acute angle, because an acute angle is less than 90 degrees, and we know 12 is way less than 90. Okay? All right, that's your first one. You have 2 more to go. Let me erase here. So you're still going to figure out how many degrees it is, and then you're also going to figure out what the name of the angle is. Okay, so erasing. Okay, so here's the first ray. And then here's your second ray. All right. Figure out how many degrees the measurement is using our 3 steps, and then figure out the name using your notes. In 3, pause in 2, 1, and go. Okay, hope you're ready. Here we go. Same thing, in or out. I'm going to do in this time. Okay, so from C all the way to A, so this side over here, I'm going to use the inside because I said in. So 180 degrees is what I'm going to write. All right, go to C to D, inside number. Don't use the outside because we chose inside here. So inside number, 0 degrees. Did steps 1 and 2, gonna subtract. 180 degrees minus 0 degrees is, if you subtract by nothing, you get the exact same number, 180 degrees. So angle, gotta follow the points. So A all the way to C, all the way to D, angle ACD is equal to 180 degrees. It's not acute. It's not a right angle. It's not obtuse. It has to be a straight angle. Okay? So you would write, it is a straight angle. All right. That one was easy, huh? Last one, and then we're done for the day. Oh, sorry, last 2, and then we're done for the day. Let me erase all of our other stuff. Okay. We have an array that goes from here to here. I messed that one up. There to there. I'll label that Z, Y. And then we have another one that goes from here to here. Okay, I'm going to label it P. All right. Find the measurement in numbers and degrees, and then what's the name of the angle? In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, here we go. Let's go inside again. Why not? I'm going to write in, following my 3 steps. Write in. Looking at ZY, it goes all the way to here. This number right there, 0 degrees. Write the angle. The other one, it doesn't matter if you're doing in or out. It's both going to be 90 degrees. Okay? And then we subtract. 90 degrees minus 0 degrees is 90 degrees. So angle PZY is equal to 90 degrees. All right, going through the list. It cannot be acute. Acute is less than 90. It might be a right angle because that's exactly 90. It cannot be a straight angle because that's not 180 degrees. And it can't be obtuse because that's more than 90. So after we checked, we know it is a right angle. Sure is. Because a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, you ready for your last one? Here we go. Last practice for this lesson. We have two rays again. One is right there. So AB goes right through there. And then the other one is 2. Oop, did a really bad job there. All right, much better. Try your best on that one. If you can see it, it's 2 notches past that big long line, okay? And that was point C. Ready? Find the measurement in angle or in degrees, and then what is the name of this angle? In 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, last one. I hope you're ready. Okay, so let's do outside because it's easier to read the little marks on the outside, the small ones. So I'm going to pick out. Going from B all the way to A, I don't want the inside number. I want the outside number, which is 40, 30, 40, 50. Okay? And then over here, I, once again, don't want the inside number. I want the outside number. So it starts at 170 right here. 170, 171, 172 degrees. Did our first 2 steps. Now we need to subtract. 172 degrees subtracted by 40 degrees. 1's place becomes a 2. 10's place becomes 3. And 100's place is a 1, which makes 132. So angle ABC is equal to 132 degrees. That's not acute because that's less than 90. It's not right because it's not equal to 90. It's not straight because it's not equal to 180. It has to be obtuse, but let's think. Is it greater than 90 degrees? Yes. Is it less than 180 degrees? Also yes. So you're correct. It is an obtuse angle. Okay, that's 4 solo problems. That was a lot. If you got at least 2 of them, I'm super proud of you, and you're getting it. You're getting really close to getting it, okay? If you got all of them, perfect. Just remember those 3 steps and look at your notes to figure out the type of measure, or the name of the angle, okay? It's not super hard, but you do have to be really careful. Okay, so here is your celebration confetti for those of you who did such great work. If you still don't get it, don't worry. Come to me and Miss Childs' office hours. Ask us. Tell us what page you're working on and what is still confusing you, okay? And we will definitely help you with that. So, quick review today. So here's the questions. So today we learned where angles came from. All about the Babylonians. We also learned how to measure angles using a protractor, and that the unit for measuring angles is degrees. There's going to be more for geometry, more videos if you are struggling on a different part of unit or of module 4, okay? So feel free, send us a message, dojo us, send us an email, whatever it is. Ask for help. We are here for you. We miss you a lot, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye.